Because again, this person sent me their lift files, and the first thing I wanted to know was, okay, did they make a whole bunch of custom names? And the So I have found it once personally, and then I've had a couple people contact me with databases and lift files and everything. And there's two pretty simple reasons why results might not be imported. And so for me personally, the thing that happened, and I forgot about it, it's actually happened in multiple meets because I forgot about it entirely, was that I had a sponsorship name that had an apostrophe in it. So it was somebody's with an S, apostrophe S, tire shop or whatever that was sponsoring an event. And yeah, MeetPro doesn't like that. It comes over from the custom event name. So I brought it over to Lynx. Lynx was okay. And then when Lynx saved the file and then the lift file and it came back over to MeetPro, MeetPro did not like it. And then actually it kind of binds up. And so it won't import stuff after that, and then it's just a kind of a cascading issue. So you have to refresh and close it, and then you actually, in that particular case, I had to purge the results for that event, rename the file, and rename the lift, and then the name of the lift is not a lot of fun. So just take it from me, if you are going to have a custom event name, make sure that you don't put an apostrophe S in there because it will not re-import, which is super fun. Now, the one that people have contacted me about has been kind of interesting because they're, I think, roughly the same thing, but two things to really look out for. First of all, make sure that the lift file actually exists and has marks in it. Somebody sent me one, and they've been using MeetPro for quite some time and using Lynx for years. And I opened up the lift file, and there was nothing there. There were the names of the schools and the start time and everything, but there were literally no results. And so for some reason their lift file didn't get saved properly by Lynx. He went back in, fixed it, no big deal. The bigger one, and I've kind of seen it, and people have been reporting on it on Timers Talk, is that nothing comes in, and then MeetPro just seems really unhappy. And the solution is usually a reboot of the program, or you can probably save yourself and just refresh the program. But either way, it involves just kind of reshutting everything down and then pulling everything back up. What's happening is that, and particularly with relays, that there's no name. And so I saw it, I experienced it in person, I did it, and then I realized what was happening, was able to close the program, reopen it. And so somebody sent me a folder with all their lift files, and I was able to go through, and for about 30 of the 34 events, I was able to pull in results, go ahead and get it scored, and then send it back to them, and everything was fine. The other 4 events I looked at, they had a line of results, but they didn't have a team name in them. And so it was all relays, but it would apply the same way if you had an empty line for a running event as well. Just no name, no affiliation, nothing. And so it's not going to import because it's seeing it and saying, hey, there's something missing with this. It doesn't know what to do with it. And so it just kind of stops. And unfortunately, this kind of grinds the program to a halt, basically. So after you do that, you're not going to be able to import a good lift file until you reload, refresh, restart the program. So just keep that in mind. When it comes down to it, if you're struggling with bringing in results, whether it's MeetPro or RunMeet or High-Tech or whatever it may be, look at the lift file and see if the lift file is good. Because again, this person sent me their lift files, and the first thing I wanted to know was, okay, did they make a whole bunch of custom names? And the answer was no, they didn't. But in this case, they had lanes that were not assigned to anybody, and they had results for those lanes. That bogged the system down, and all of a sudden it just cascades from there. So hopefully that helps in this nice short video, and I will see you soon. So I'm adding a third thing. It's because somebody just posted about it on Timers Talk and jogged my memory about one other thing that has happened to me in the past where results have not come back over into MeetPro. And the length of the affiliation field is the issue. So it often happens with really small schools that they consolidate. I've seen some up in Illinois that are 4 or 5 school names that are just jammed together. And so when you import them and they go to the short team name, they have X amount of length. And I forget the character limitation for FinishLynx. I think it might be I'm not even going to guess. But there's a character limitation to the number of characters that Lynx will write to a lif file for the affiliation field. And so what happens is MeetPro gives a whole big long affiliation field, and then Lynx takes it in and says great, and then later it chops off the last little bit, and then MeetPro doesn't match it up at the end. You can deal with this by sending over the code instead. The team code is almost always 100% unique, but the short team name, if you import through a semicolon delimited file into MeetPro for your entries, that could be too long, and then you have this issue where MeetPro writes it, but Lynx will not provide it back the same way, and that's conflict, and then MeetPro doesn't know what team it is. So hope that little addition might help you out as well.